How can Superman beat the Hulk, and can he beat Thanos? At the top of the Fortress of Solitude, Superman stands silently, his eyes fixed on the glittering night sky. The distant stars seem to whisper of a new threat, a force far beyond any foe he has ever faced. Clark Kent, aka Kal-El, is not only Earth's mightiest superhero, but also a symbol of hope. But tonight his mind is troubled. News from the cosmos has arrived. An entity known as Thanos, the Mad Titan, is ravaging planets, collecting powerful stones to carry out a plan of destruction. Superman has never met Thanos, but the name brings to mind fierce battles in the past with the Hulk, with Thor, and with Darkseid, the Lord of Apokolips. Superman has defeated the Hulk in crossover encounters, such as DC versus Marvel. The Green Giant, while powerful, is no match for his speed and versatility. Thor, the god of thunder, had also failed against the Man of Steel, when Superman used his wits and strength to overcome his hammer Mjolnir. But Thanos was a different story. He had heard that the Titan had defeated the Hulk and Thor, and had even manipulated cosmic entities like the Silver Surfer. Could he defeat such an enemy? Superman clenched his fists, sunlight radiating from his body like a flame. He decided, if Thanos came to Earth, he would face him. To understand his abilities, Superman began to recall his past battles. He needed to analyze why he could defeat the Hulk so easily, but had difficulty against enemies like Darkseid. And if Thanos was more powerful than Darkseid, what would the upcoming battle be like? He took to the air, heading for the place where he had once faced the Hulk, a desolate desert in Nevada, where the memory of the battle still haunted him. 5 years ago, in the Nevada desert, Superman faced off against the Hulk in a battle that shook the land. The Hulk, aka Bruce Banner, was accidentally transported to the DC universe by a portal. The Hulk's anger exploded as he was pursued by the military, and Superman was called in to stop the Green Giant. The Hulk was over 10 feet tall, muscular, and his eyes burned with rage. "Hulk smashes everything," he roared, punching the ground, creating an earthquake that overturned tanks. Superman landed in front of the Hulk, his red cape billowing in the wind. "Calm down, Giant. I don't want to hurt you." But the Hulk didn't listen. He lunged forward, throwing a punch with enough force to destroy a mountain. Superman dodged the punch at the speed of light, flew into the air, and observed his opponent. He realized that the Hulk was not only strong, but also nearly immortal. Each time he was attacked, the Hulk's anger grew, and so did his strength. But Superman has an advantage. He doesn't rely on raw strength alone. He flies around Hulk at supersonic speeds, creating vortexes of wind that throw Hulk off balance. "If I can't beat you with strength, I'll use tactics," Superman tells himself. He uses heat vision, firing lasers at Hulk's legs, causing the ground to melt and trapping the giant in a pool of lava. Hulk roars, trying to break free, but Superman doesn't stop. He flies into the stratosphere, dragging Hulk with him, and hurls him into space. There's no air there, nothing for Hulk to destroy, and his anger slowly cools. Eventually, Hulk passes out, reverting to Bruce Banner. Superman gently carries Banner back to Earth, handing him over to the scientists of S.H.I.E.L.D. This battle shows Superman's advantages: speed, agility, and ability to fight from a distance. Hulk, despite his strength, can't catch up to him. But Superman knows that Thanos is not like Hulk. The Mad Titan relies on more than just strength. He also has strategic intelligence and cosmic power. He needs to prepare for a much greater challenge. Superman faced Thor in another crossover event where the DC and Marvel universes collided. Thor, the Asgardian god of thunder, is a formidable warrior with the hammer Mjolnir, which can summon lightning and manipulate the weather. In JLA, Avengers, Superman and Thor had a brief but dramatic battle. The fight began when Thor, sent to Earth to investigate a multiversal threat, mistook Superman for an enemy. Thor swung Mjolnir, creating a lightning storm that shook Metropolis. Superman, with his superhuman speed, dodged the blow and counterattacked with a punch that sent Thor flying hundreds of feet back. "You are strong, but not fast enough," Thor roared, summoning a bolt of lightning from the sky. Superman, recognizing Mjolnir's magical power, decided not to confront him head-on. He circled Thor, creating a whirlwind of super speed, which disoriented the god of thunder. As Thor threw Mjolnir, Superman caught the hammer at the speed of light and threw it away, taking advantage of the magical law that only the worthy can wield Mjolnir for long. In the moment Thor was distracted, Superman delivered a finishing blow, knocking Thor down. The battle with Thor taught Superman that strength is not always the deciding factor. Tactics and the ability to exploit an opponent's weaknesses are key. However, Thanos was a completely different opponent. He was not only as strong as the Hulk or as magical as Thor, but he also possessed a strategic intelligence that far surpassed both. Superman began to sense the danger of the Mad Titan. As Superman reminisces about past battles, a portal opens in the sky above Metropolis. From it, Thanos emerges, his infinity gauntlet sparkling with the 5 powerful stones: power, space, reality, soul, and time. The Mind Stone is still missing, and Thanos has come to Earth to find it. Superman senses Thanos' presence from the Fortress of Solitude. He flies to Metropolis, confronting the Mad Titan in the heart of the city. "Who are you, and why have you come to Earth?" Superman asks, his voice steely. Thanos smiles, his eyes cold. "I am Thanos, the bringer of balance to the universe. And you, Kryptonian, will not stand in my way." Thanos raises the Infinity Gauntlet, and a beam of energy from the Power Stone shoots out, sending Superman flying through 3 skyscrapers. He stands up, unharmed, but realizing that Thanos is unlike any opponent he has ever faced. The Space Stone allows Thanos to teleport, rendering Superman's speed virtually useless. The Reality Stone turns the air around Superman toxic, forcing him to rise into the stratosphere to breathe. Superman realizes that his physical strength alone is not enough to defeat Thanos. He needs a plan, but time is running out. Thanos, with his strategic intelligence and the power of the Infinity Gauntlet, seems unstoppable. In preparation for his battle with Thanos, Superman recalls his encounter with Darkseid, his greatest enemy. Darkseid, the Lord of Apokolips, is an avatar with powers far beyond those of humanity. In Final Crisis, Darkseid nearly destroyed the multiverse, and Superman had to use all his strength and intelligence to stop him. Darkseid possesses Omega Beams, energy beams that can bend space and destroy anything they touch. During the battle, Superman dodged the Omega Beams with his superhuman speed, but he knew he could not defeat Darkseid with strength alone. He teamed up with the Justice League, using Batman's intelligence and Zatanna's magic to neutralize Darkseid. The battle with Darkseid taught Superman that sometimes victory comes not from strength but from unity and strategy. But Thanos, with the Infinity Gauntlet, seems to be an upgraded version of Darkseid. Can he find a way to defeat the Mad Titan? Back in Metropolis, Superman decides not to confront Thanos directly. He flies around Titan, using his speed to analyze the Infinity Gauntlet. He realizes that the stones are Thanos' main source of power, and that if he can separate the gauntlet from him, Superman can win. Superman attacks from multiple angles, using heat vision and supercooled breath to distract Thanos. But the Time Stone allows Thanos to slow down time, rendering all of Superman's attacks ineffective. "You are strong, Kryptonian, but not smart enough," Thanos sneers. Superman, undeterred, recalls Batman's words. "Every enemy has a weakness. Find it." He realizes that Thanos, despite his intelligence, has one weakness: arrogance. Superman feigns weakness, luring Thanos closer. As the Titan raises the gauntlet to deliver the killing blow, Superman suddenly lunges forward, using all his strength to rip the gauntlet from Thanos' grasp. But before he can act, the Soul Stone glows, and Superman feels his mind being invaded. Thanos is trying to manipulate him, making him face his deepest fear, failing to protect Earth. In the mindscape created by the Soul Stone, Superman finds himself standing in the ruins of Metropolis. The once gorgeous skyscrapers are now rubble, and smoke and dust cover the sky. Before him, Lois Lane lies motionless, her eyes empty. Beside her are the Kent family, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the other members of the Justice League, all defeated. In the center, Thanos stands, Infinity Gauntlet gleaming, a cold smile on his face. "You failed, Kryptonian." Thanos' voice echoes like thunder. "You could not protect them. You were not strong enough." Superman feels his heart sink. His greatest fear, failing to protect the people he loves, is coming true. The Soul Stone penetrates his mind, amplifying his deepest doubts. He remembers the times he could not save everyone: Pa Kent's death in the storm, the sacrifice of his teammates in Final Crisis. "You are a pretender," Thanos continued, his voice cutting into Superman's soul. "Your power is not enough to change destiny." But Superman was not one to be defeated. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and focused on the memories of his victories. He remembered the battle with Doomsday, when he had lost everything but still stood up. He remembered Darkseid, who had pushed him to the brink but could not break his will. "I do not fight for power," Superman whispered in his mind. "I fight for hope." The golden light of the sun, the source of his power, began to burn in his mind. Superman opened his eyes, his blue eyes blazing like fire. "You are wrong, Thanos," he said, his voice hard. "I do not need to be perfect. I just need to never give up." With a will of his own, Superman broke the hold of the Soul Stone. The mindscape shattered, and he returned to reality. In Metropolis, Thanos was closing in, thinking Superman had been defeated. The Infinity Gauntlet shimmered, ready to deliver the finishing blow. But suddenly, Superman rushed forward at the speed of light, throwing a punch with all his Kryptonian power. The punch was so powerful that it shook the entire city, sending Thanos flying hundreds of meters back, crashing through a skyscraper. The Infinity Gauntlet slipped from his hand, falling to the ground with a sharp clang. Superman picked up the gauntlet, feeling the cosmic energy coursing through his body. He knew that with just a thought, he could erase Thanos from existence. But he also knew that this power came with temptation. He was not a destroyer, he was Superman. Holding the Infinity Gauntlet, Superman felt its limitless power. The Power Stone increased his physical strength. The Space Stone allowed him to teleport anywhere in the universe, and the Reality Stone turned his every thought into reality. For a moment, he felt like he could remake Metropolis, resurrect the dead, or even destroy Thanos with a snap of his fingers. But he stopped. No, he told himself, this is not my way. Thanos, though badly wounded, rose to his feet. Purple blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, but his smile did not fade. You think you can wield the gauntlet better than I? Thanos roared. You are a mortal, bound by weak morals. The power of the gauntlet will destroy you. Superman did not reply. He focused on the Space Stone, opening a portal to an empty dimension, where there was no life for Thanos to harm. You want to bring balance? Then go where there is nothing to destroy, Superman said, throwing Thanos through the portal. The Mad Titan roared, trying to fight back, but the power of the Space Stone was too much. The portal closed, and Thanos disappeared. But Superman knew the battle was not over. Before he was transported, Thanos activated a secret device, a cosmic energy bomb hidden in the ruins of Metropolis. The device began to glow, emitting waves of energy that could destroy the entire planet. Superman had only seconds to act. He flew to the bomb, clutched it to his chest, and flew straight into space. At superluminal speeds, he sent the bomb away from Earth, into an empty space. The bomb exploded, creating a brilliant burst of energy, engulfing Superman in white light. Metropolis, Earth, and the universe were saved, but Superman was lost in the blast. In the darkness of space, Superman floated, his body shattered by the explosion, but the golden light of the sun, the source of his power, remained in his Kryptonian cells. Though faint, the energy began to regenerate his body. With each passing second, his wounds healed, and Superman slowly opened his eyes. He found himself on a distant planet, the light of a nearby star illuminating him, healing him. Suddenly, a green light appeared. It was Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern of Sector 2814. You're tougher than I thought, Kal, Hal said, smiling brightly. He had picked up the signal from the explosion and arrived just in time to save Superman. Earth needs you, and I'm not about to let you die out here. Superman smiled weakly. Thank you, Hal. But Thanos, he's still alive. Hal nodded, his eyes serious. He's trapped in that dimension, but I'm not sure it will hold him forever. Thanos is not an easy target. Back on Earth, Superman is greeted as a hero. Metropolis is being rebuilt, and the Justice League is rallying to its aid. Batman, as usual, is not happy. You've risked too much, Clark, he says. If you die, who will protect the planet? Superman puts his hand on Batman's shoulder. I know you'll find a way, Bruce. But deep down, Superman knows that Thanos is still a threat. He has kept the Infinity Gauntlet in the Fortress of Solitude, but he dares not use it. The power of the stones is too great, and he fears that it might change his nature. He decides to give the gauntlet to the Justice League to study how to neutralize it. Meanwhile, in a distant dimension, Thanos sits on a rock, his eyes cold. Kryptonian, you win this time, he whispers. But I am destiny, I will return.